9 days out, just finished our morning practice, and we're going to come back this afternoon and get another one in. And usually what I do, we have 2 days focus more on kicking game and then just throwing the ball, put the ball in the red zone a lot, get a lot of skelly and pass scale. Then we come back Friday and go one on Friday, and then Saturday we will come back and do a mock scrimmage where we will just let them know just on game day where each position lines up and how we're going to stretch, and then just how we're going to go through the game day routine, and to just make sure that we cover every situation. We will go through every phase of kicking, whether it be an onside or whether it be a sky or whatever we're going to do in the kicking game, just return yardage, return after safety, whatever phase that we have not focused on, we will get that done on Saturday. Give them Sunday off, and then we get into game preparation, and it's here. When you think about 9 days, it's not many days, but just very pleased just how we came out today and we were able to bounce. And then it'll be this afternoon will be just a true test of our team and just see exactly where we are.
If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you.
Charlie, last time we visited, your message was pretty clear about your feelings. Have the guys responded in the last, I guess it's been about a week?
Oh, they've responded, and you just had to let them hear your message and let them know what you expect. And that practice wasn't very good that day, and I was very upset. And they know just exactly what the expectations are. Not so much of that, just how we need to go out each and every day. We can't waste a day. It's 29 opportunities, and we got to get every day in.
Coach, how close to you to naming all your starters, on both sides of the ball?
Well, you look at us on defense. You got the 4 up front. When you look at Sharo, Sad, Tank, and Malcolm, and then the backers, you go Steve Edmonds, you go Jink, and then you go Hicks. Hicks on the outside, and then in the secondary, you still have a good battle with Hall and Haynes at the safety position. Then, but you still have McHale. Then you go Duke, and on the other side with Diggs. And then you look at our offensive line, we're still shuffling it there. You still haven't made a decision just yet on just a complete 5. But the 2 running backs, what you like about it with Jonathan Gray and Malcolm Brown, it's just so fun to watch those guys go out and practice. And the thing about it is they work hard each and every day. And then they have so much respect for one another. With that position, I don't even know if it would matter to them who's the starter, because they know they're going to get their touches and get the reps that they need. And David Ash is just at the quarterback position, been unbelievable this camp. And then you look at the wide receivers, we're still trying to fill that position in, because you have Marcus, and Shipley's down right now. Just don't know when he's going to be back from that injury. We need to get him back. I don't know if he's going to be just at full speed on game 1. But then you got O'Rourke there. You have Harris, who's having an unbelievable camp. And then all the freshmen, we're giving them enough reps. So we're still, on offense, we're still trying to piece it together. But defense, we know exactly where we sit.
Charlie, what do you like about Jason Hall?
Well, he's very athletic, has a lot of range, and very physical. You look at that position and the free safety position, when you talk about a football team, you won't be good down the middle. So you look at the nose guard, you have your really good nose guard with Tank, and then in the middle with Edmond and Santos, 2 big middle backers. And then you look at the free safety position, because when you cut it down the middle, he's got to be a guy that covers a lot of ground. And then we ask him to do a lot in our run game. They had to fit the run for us, and he is very mature at his age right now, which is really good. And he's picking up the defense and just practices so well. But when you look at that guy, he's very athletic. It's it's not. I've been around a lot of freshmen who came in who've came in and started, like a Janoris Jenkins, a Joe Hayden, guys that have came in and started, and now with the free safety position. And him and Dylan Haynes is not for. You're looking at 2 guys that are very competitive, and it's a good battle for us.
Charlie, are you guys essentially putting together 2 different offensive lines, since Harrison won't be there for the first game? And then as a follow-up, do you know yet how many games the suspended players will miss?
The second question, do not know how many games the suspended players will miss, but you look at it, Harrison won't be there, so Hutch is a guy that we moved from defense who's doing really well on offense. James is another guy that we can look at the tackle position. We have a lot of options. It's just a bad matter now that when we get into game preparation where we piece it together, and that's going to start here very soon.
And that'll be right tackle, correct?
That'll be right tackle.
Charlie, what do you like about the way that Malcolm Brown and Tank Jackson work together at tackle, and what are their strengths as a team?
Well, you look at two big guys in the middle, and then you always talk about your front, and you have those two guys. And Malcolm is very athletic, a big guy that can move, very powerful, guys that he can get into somebody's body, can punch and get off the block and then go run and chase the football. We had a scrimmage, and they threw a screenplay to one of the backs, and you saw him run it down from behind once we got the ball, kept it inside in front of us. And then Tank, there's a guy right there, a guy, his size, he's not very big, but he can just anchor the line of scrimmage. And that's what you like it, because he is so strong.
Chip.
Charlie, can you give us an update on Rami Ahmad, if he's planning to stay or go?
Well, Rami has left the program. He decided that it was his best interest to go ahead and transfer, and we wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Sean?
To stay on the offensive line, you talked about the fact that you got a lot of options there. Are you looking at it now as you know who you have, and you're just trying to figure out who plays well together and what kind of teams you can put on the field?
Yeah, Sean, what we're looking at, we know this Espinosa is going to be in the middle. Then you still have Ced Flowers, and you have Cedric. So you have Ced, and then you're looking at your Kendrick Perk on the other side with the guard. And then with the other tackle position, you still have 77 sitting there. So you have some options now. It's the other tackle that we have to decide on who's that guy going to be.
Right, Steve.
Coach Strong, the first half of the camp is usually installation. You guys have been doing that all along. Have y'all moved to the mode now of moving past installation? And where are you with that step?
Yeah, because nowadays you're so late into it. Now it's all about, we'll start game planning now, but we still have a week to go. But we're going to start game planning and just see where we are with North Texas. We hadn't had a chance to look at them, but here we are coming into Friday. So when we get into Friday, we get through the day, and then you get into Friday and Saturday. And when we go out there to a little mock scrimmage on Saturday, it'll be a lot of the plays that North Texas, a lot of things that they do.
Good, Brian.
Charlie, what are your thoughts on DeJay right now, and how is he working and doing?
DeJay's doing everything we ask him to do. He's working very hard in camp, and DeJay is just a special player. Has a lot of ability, and the thing you like about him, he is so explosive with the ball. He can get the ball in his hands, and he's one of those guys that can make people miss, and a guy can break away at any time.
Is he a guy? I mean, everybody wants to know if he gets it. Do you see that he's getting it?
Does he get? In what way as he gets it?
Staying on this team, staying in good graces, getting back on the field, not missing games, things like that.
Well, that's going to be. He's got to make that decision, but he's going to do what we ask him to do.
Go ahead, Brian.
Coach, do you get a sense, you haven't coached this team in a real game, it's a lot of guys that you're just learning. How do you and your staff get a sense of, maybe where you are, how good this team is, or do you even have that sense, or does it have to be until you line up against another team? You don't have the luxury of a preseason game.
I'm just excited to see us go out there, and I just want to see what this team is going to do. And I ask them to do. I say to them, I want to see you go play hard. I want to see you go have fun. I want to see you play with some excitement, play with some passion, but go play for one another and be a teammate. And the leadership, I want the leadership to take over. But I said, I just want to see you guys just go out and go be the best you possibly can go be, and go play at that level. And there's no reason why you shouldn't. And I said, you only get 12 opportunities, so we can't waste one, because those games are so critical. But when we take that field, I said, I'm just excited to see, because when you watch practice, and I said, I want to make it so hard in practice that the game comes easy, but I want to see that carry over. Now when we get into it, just being a teammate and just playing hard. And I was talking about the guy a while ago, Jonathan Gray and Malcolm. Those two guys, it's just so fun to watch those guys go practice and go compete each and every day. And our guys know it. They're the two hardest workers on the team, but they practice like it. So I said, if they practice like it, when it gets to the game, they'll play exactly the way they practice.
Kurt?
Charlie, is there a clear number 2 quarterback? And if so, would you like to get that person in the first half in the opener to get some meaningful action?
Well, I don't know when it's going to be, but Tyrone is a clear number 2 quarterback. I don't know when he's going to play. It's going to depend on the flow of the game and just how we're playing offensively and just how well David's playing.
Charlie, I saw you accepted the Ice Bucket Challenge and called out Casey Studdard. He's been hanging around. What kind of presence does he bring to the kids? Because they're old enough to remember how good he was when he was here.
I don't know if they're old enough to remember how good he was, but no, they should know. But no, Casey does. You know, he comes out some days, and just being around a team, it helps because when you have an alum, a player that played, you know, it's so good for him to just talk about and just talk about just how important the team is and how it was when he was here in those old days. And they give those stories. You know, everybody always have a story, and he has a story. But it's just so fun to just see him, just for him to be around.
Charlie, Vince joked the other day that the stuff you guys did at Louisville isn't going to work in the Big 12. Do you think you have the element of surprise still in this conference, or do you know that other people are just going to be watching the Louisville tape?
I don't know, but you know, football is football. It's still about fundamentals and technique, and it's what it comes down to. Everybody thinks it's about scheme. When you have players, scheme looks really good. So it doesn't matter because it is. It is just how well your kids. And I'm not so much concerned about what you can work, because if our players go out and execute what we ask them to do, then you always have a chance.
Charlie, I think you've cleared up all the depth chart questions that we have, but will you be releasing an actual depth chart for game week, or what are your plans?
We have some days left, and I think we'll release that in the due time. I'll give that to John, and it'll be released out there.
Charlie, you kind of mentioned Jackson Shipley in passing and how you're not sure he's going to be full strength by the opener. Is this worse than the injury he had last year, and what has he been able to do in practice?
I don't know if it's worse than the injury he had last year, but it's not so much as the injury, but he just hadn't had the reps at practice. So now when you have not had the reps, it's more of just being game ready because you haven't been in the practice mode. And so now just to throw him out there when he hadn't been in the practice mode. But he's smart enough, and he understands because he sits in meetings, but it's just a matter of him just going out there and running those routes, and it's just aware.
Is he getting reps now?
No, he's not getting reps now.
Mark?
Coaching had to implement a lot scheme-wise, and of course player developmental-wise. Do you feel like it's all at this point starting to come together? Are you starting to feel like maybe any momentum as the season's getting started?
Well, you would like to think, when we came in January and we started implementing all those different, for it be the scheme or the discipline or just trying to get things done within the program. Now you're looking at late August, and you get ready for the game here in another week. I think it's all coming together. I think they understand and they know the direction that we like for this team to go. But the players, they get it now. And I really think for themselves, they want to see they're ready to go play a game.
Charlie, going back to Max's question about Louisville, when you look back on it, you think back on it, what in your mind was the main reason why defensively, y'all made a considerable jump from what Louisville did defensively in 2009 to what happened in 2010? I mean, I'm sure the coaching had a big part of it, but I'm sure there was a lot of players that were holdovers. What was the difference?
No, I don't think it's so much coaching. It's just a matter of scheme, and it's just the preparation and just when you get into a game, just how well the guys go play. And what's going to be critical here, we return a lot of players on defense. So it's going to be key. Up front, can we hold up front, and can we control the line of scrimmage and not give up the big play in the secondary? I think offensive teams aren't patient enough to drive the football. If you give them something, they're going to take advantage of it, whether it be a big throw or it be a penalty to keep a drive going. It's so much that plays into it when you're looking at defense. And we're going to play to our offense and to the special teams. And what's really great is that our offense plays our defense. If they don't go turn the ball over and put you on a short field, then you always have a chance. And that's what we didn't do. We didn't turn the football over. And defensively, we weren't on the field a lot. So it's so many factors that come into play when you're talking about just how good you can play and how well you can match up. It's so many things.
Sure. Charlie, do you have a view of walk-ons because of your experience? It sounds like Dylan's in the mix and Ty Templin's, maybe fighting into the 2 deep. your thoughts on how many walk-ons could contribute, or those two seem to be the ones, and how your experience affects it?
Yeah, when I look at it, I don't really just look at it and say, he's a walk-on, because they all come out and they go to work, and it's, some guys are blessed with ability where they get a scholarship, but you look at the job that Temp is doing for us right now, and then Dylan, and then Nate Boyer, our deep snapper. But there's a lot of guys that they come out there and they go to work each and every day, and they don't get the credit that they deserve. But we could not be the football team that we are without the hard work that they put into it. And it's amazing to watch, because you go to the kicking game and it's the same 11 guys, whether it be on punt rush, they're rushing the punt team. And then you go to kickoff team and there's the same guys on the kickoff return team, or if we had to kick the ball off to our return team's return, it was the same 11 guys. So I call them out, and then I try to recognize them and make sure they are recognized, because it's just a job that they do. It's amazing. And when they have a chance, they're going to get an opportunity to go play. I put them on special teams, and you feel comfortable playing them. With Dylan lining up, he's going to line up next week as safety. He's going to line up back there. So you have to, and he knows what to do. So it's not so, and yeah, they're walk-ons, but I just don't look at it like that. I just look at, as a football player that we have to go develop. So let's just make sure we develop, and when they get into the game, they know what to do, and they'll know what to do. And that won't be the question, because they'll play hard, and this university means so much to them, and it's just so fun to watch it happen.
Got time for two last ones. Go ahead, Jeff.
Charlie, you mentioned turnovers a second ago, and just kind of look at the numbers. I think 2 years ago at Louisville, you were plus 11 in turnover margin. I think plus 17 last year. Can you just talk about both sides of the ball needing to work together to improve that number? And when you look at, I don't know how you view statistics, but how important do you view turnover margin in terms of wins and losses at the end of the day?
Well, you have to look at it very strongly, because you look at us offensively, and you don't want to turn the ball over. You can't, because it's always about field position. And then you can, you're driving the ball, and all of a sudden there's a turnover down the defense, whether it be on the positive side or on the negative side of the ball. But if you look at it offensively, we always talk about we can't have any turnovers. And then defensively, we're always trying to get the ball back for our offense and give them opportunity to go and score. Because in a game, if you watch in a game, a lot of points are scored and a lot of points are created off of turnovers. And the field is short or whatever it may be. A guy pick up a fumble and go running in for a touchdown, or interception return for a touchdown, and you just can't get behind the clock with the turnovers. And it's very big. And when you look at it, you want to make sure that at the end of the game that you're on the plus side of it.
Last one, Roger.
Charlie, do you get a sense from your guys and your staff that they feel that this season is upon them now? Training camp's almost over. You're talking about an opponent. I mean, is there a ratcheting up of enthusiasm and emotion for a game?
Oh, it is. Last night we had a team meeting, so I spoke at the team meeting, and I just talked about, just the stages of winning, like, how you have to go be competitive, and you should look at your schedule and just look at that schedule and talk about, it should be no one on that schedule that we feel like we can't go compete with and go win the football game. And then you got to learn how to just handle winning. When you do go win games, you can't just worry about what's being said from the outside. Now it's all about, hey, we can't get complacent, continue to grow and develop and go get better. But I think that they're sensing it now, because you can just feel now that we moved out of the dorm, and now that they're kind of in their own places. But now it's all about, you can just tell, it's as these days get, it's like, okay, it's today we got one more, and then tomorrow we got one, then Saturday, then it's like, oh man, and now we're in the game week. They kind of sense that. The older guys for sure, the seniors for sure, they see it and they can feel it coming.
Thank you, Coach.
All righty, thank you.